Hi there, welcome to our video on the Fool. This is our little quick video on this fella. For most people, he starts the Rider-Waite deck. Marseille deck looks like this. Now, as you can see on the Marseille deck, he's not numbered at all. He's got his little name label there. No number, he's blank. Rider-Waite Smith deck, he is given 0. Now, as I mentioned, most people put him first. He's seen as the opening card. There's a lot of character building and almost story building, which we'll discuss a little bit in the video on the Major Arcana, but it's the Fool's journey through the Major Arcana all the way around until you come to the world at the end. Interestingly enough, though, this little booklet that if you've seen my other videos, I slag off something fierce. If you were to look at it, you will not find the Fool at the beginning. It starts with the Magician, number 1. You find him at the end. So, from the original Rider-Waite Smith take on things, he comes at the end. That may or may not factor in for you. If you've seen my videos on the introduction, you know that I consider reading tarot cards to be deeply personal. There are lots of set meanings. Some of them traditional. They go back all the way back to the Marseille decks. Some of them heavily influenced by Rider-Waite Smith. Others are more modern interpretations that have come in from very well-known or famous readers. You have to feel that it's the right thing. To simply take a book, and just to give you an example, according to this, the Fool represents folly. He also represents delirium and intoxication. You won't find many tarot card readers today that would use that interpretation. It just clearly didn't fit for somebody, and it clearly didn't fit for enough somebodies that slowly but surely the lots and lots and lots and lots of books that were written by tarot card readers had this suggestion of, no, that's not what it means. Let's look at a way that we can expand on that in a way that feels right for us and that fits the situation and that fits our client. And that's what you need to do. You need to develop your own take on it. It doesn't have to be wildly different. Every once in a while you will get a card that your interpretation feels wildly different from any of the books. That's okay. For the vast majority of the cards, you will have a slightly different take or a slightly different area of focus. So it's really important. I keep going on about it. Anybody who's seen the other videos, keep a notebook. Write notes. Also, as these guys have shown, they usually are on a theme. You could definitely see the similarities. You know, there's the guy with the little dog. He's carrying his little bindle. He's got his little tunic on. He's setting off on a journey. You can see the comparisons. It's not rocket science. But each deck might be a little bit different. So here, you might be focused on all the yellow in the background. And look at all the green of the tunic. Is that all about growth? Is that something new? If this was the first time you'd seen the Fool, that wouldn't factor in. You'd be looking at, well, what does the red signify? What does the blue signify? The dog's jumping up on him. Why? And then you will develop your own focus, your own keywords of what that means to you. And then, whether you have a deck that looks like this or whether you have a deck that looks like that, the Fool means the same thing, because you're not looking into the card at the picture for the symbolism anymore. And it's what allows you to read decks where the minor arcana are pip decks, pip cards, where they don't have images on, because the meanings will have become so intuitive to you that it doesn't matter if there isn't somebody with 6 swords in a boat on that card. You will see the 6 of swords and you will remember your intuitive keywords and meanings. So don't get too hung up about different visuals, but it's worth looking at different decks and seeing if different decks and the slightly different images trigger something different for you. So here we have the full 0. As I said, most of the time he's seen as the starting point. Now, as we can see, little dog, looks like he's about to embark on a journey, but is he also about to step into the unknown? Well, the Fool tends to represent self-confidence, self-belief, the need to take that leap of faith. Big changes and new chapters don't come if you can't take the leap of faith. If you can't draw a line under what was, how do you move into what will be? In order to reinvent yourself, you have to let go of the old and be all out with the old and in with the new. You have to be willing to embrace that. So there you go. That's what the Fool tends to signify. Those big changes, that big fresh start, new things coming. Not little things, big things. We're not talking about maybe a new job within the same company. We're talking about giving up being an accountant and setting off on a trip to New Zealand to learn how to farm sheep and make cheese. We're talking big changes. And that requires confidence, self-belief, and the willingness to sometimes step into the unknown. That is why the Fool is a really exciting card to get. I love seeing it when I read for people because it generally means exciting things are coming, big changes. Bear in mind, it can end up in a position that would be considered a bit more negative. It could show up reversed. Those are more complicated. You have to watch the big video to see those. There you go. Your keywords for writing down: self-belief, self-confidence, big changes, reinvention, leap of faith. That's the Fool. See you next time.